Welcome back to the Monday Premium Go for StarCraft Cup. This is Rifkin, joined today by Zombie Grub, but also joining us on the cast are all of you wonderful people stopping in chat going nuts on ham on that thing. Careful with that sub button, don't break it. Spawning in the top left corner of the map from Vega Squadron, the pink Zerg player, Donna.
In the upper right, as the red Terran, it is Acer's MMA.
So I think one of the people in chat just now phrased it best. That Zerg quarantine in game number 1. That contain was a little too strong. Merry-go-round's not a map you can necessarily pull that same sort of stunt off on, not without a gold base especially. But I think one of the things is Donna's one of the players who he's willing to do the Roach Hydra. And this map, we've just seen it more often than not cripple even the best Terran players.
Oh shit! Stop!
What?
What happened?
What?
My cat just like slept on my keyboard.
Oh.
He just like laid down and was like, "Okay, I'm gonna sit here."
I
But he
thought like
hit
my
something.
mic was freaking out or something. You're like, just like stop.
He hit something that dimmed my monitor.
So are
It's really dark.
you okay? Are you able to like cast? Like what's going on over there?
Oh, I'm fine. It's a
Okay.
new experience for me.
Just
I
making
don't know how
sure.
to fix it. Okay then.
Sounds like there's a bit of a a bit of a catastrophe going on there. All right. But Donna, yeah, getting back on point of what I was saying before we got distracted by the cats. He's a player you guys don't know a lot about, but he got a mind sanity for a while. He's never been like the top contender for a tournament, but I'll give you an example here. We had a show match last year with him versus Beyond. It was like a 4-1 series, granted, but every game in that series was seriously close. Like, Donna almost beat him in several different occasions. So it's not like his ZVT's ever been bad. Coming up against MMA, I'd still give him a pretty close shot. But as we talked about before the series started, I mean, this is probably going to be 2-1 or 2-0 for MMA. But the reality is, Donna's got a fighting chance. And if given the right circumstances, he could beat MMA. But it's
I think
not
so
gonna
as
be easy.
well. No, yeah, and that attack just looked, it might not be really OP, it might not be the new 1-1-1 order, but it's so new that there's not much precedence to like how to defeat it. So it's really powerful in that aspect.
Yeah, I personally kind of feel like it's got to be like the Nidus or something. It's not too different than getting normal 2-racks, right? Like you
Well,
base
imagine
it, try and do something else.
Imagine had he gotten all those roaches. He got like 12 roaches, and they were all banelings instead.
Well, imagine if any of the banelings weren't focus fired down by like the crazy control of MMA
Well,
at
yeah.
the same time. Okay, Reaper coming across the map, gonna scout a little bit here. One thing he will find is that there is no speed timing here for the gas to worry about, so he may go for the third Reaper. Probably not, though he's already started the factory though, so I take that back. But this does mean he can stay around town with the Reapers past that 6-minute mark.
I was gonna try to sing a song, but I
First blood.
can't remember it.
What song would possibly be relevant to what we're discussing?
Around town. I was trying to think of a Beach Boys song.
No, it's that CeeLo Green or whatever.
Well, there's
I see
also
you
that
walking
one,
round
but I
town
hate that
with
one,
the girl
so-
I know, and I'm like, forget. Well, it's the radio edit version, but still.
Yes, it is the radio edit version. So MMA, he knows that he can get in here and be pretty okay, and luckily for him, there's also no queen. That was kind of a unexpected
Yeah, the
surprise.
queen being late
Freebie.
is a bit odd. I don't know what's up with that. So here comes the 2 from the low ground, just a little bit late to the party, but yeah, he's done a bit more damage here than I think normally we would give him the opportunity. This is why you see a lot of Zerg players blindly going for that earlier gas guys, for very good reason.
Yes, these can be very annoying. Usually you have 4 queens when you go gasless, or even 5 queens, so if you push them out soon enough, they can't get back up the ramp. The problem is he didn't push them out. MMA actually went back in.
Yeah, he does get one of the Reapers, so this starts calming this down a little bit, but I mean, 5 workers dead, it's hard to deal with. A couple lings with this too. I mean, this is way more damage than should have been afforded, and the problem comes down not to Dana's lack of control, but his choice not to go for that earlier speed. Oh,
Well,
Lord. We've seen this before. This can't get away.
Oh, it's gonna get stuck. It's gonna be stuck. It's gonna go boop.
But this has been awkward too, because you don't see Marines out early. This is why so many Terran players or Zerg players have kind of gotten caustic and lazy with leaving their overlords in the base like this, and it's been costing them a lot lately. The assumption there'll be no anti-air, that it's Marauders, Hellions, and Banshees. But one Marine, as we see, supply blocks Dana in a situation where he's got Hellions and Reapers at his front door.
Yeah, and he wants to make roaches. He's getting that roach porn this early because I'm pretty sure he wants to make those, 8 and attack. Remember, it's merry-go-round. Like, roaches, they're just always on this map. In some form.
Well, Reaper gets back up for another scout. This one's not probably going to get a lot of kills. This one's more about scouting and possibly suiciding.
Yeah, Donna did something interesting with his Evo chambers. Oh, Hellions and the natural. Trying to do damage as well.
Oh!
Whoa!
Drone roasting over here. We look away at the Reaper for like 1 second to see what he's going to see critically, and like he loses all of his half of his drone line in an instant. Now, he's still on 30 workers. He's not out of the game by this. But this is a situation where Donna should, rather than making 15 roaches, be more comfortably taking a third. But combination of that Reaper snowball, the drones being picked off earlier, and that Hellion run by has really just set him off. And this is, well, going to be a little bit of a push out by his part, but he can't really punish MMA.
With 5 roaches, it's not that scary. Although MMA did not throw in a bunker, he was, of course, a little focused on trying to do damage.
Understandably so. You got quite a bit of it done.
Yeah, but the problem is, it's still relatively long distance, so the roaches, they're going to get around when the bunker's finish, and the SCVs, he'll only need a few SCVs. The Marauder will be out, there's enough Marines. 5 roaches just doesn't really scare a Terran. It's more like 8 to 10.
Get an SCV or 2, as long as he doesn't lose too many of the roaches, that'll be fine. +1 weapon, ranged weapon upgrades, so we are going to probably see that Roach Hydra dedication. For those who don't know why this works out so fantastically on this map, it's a combination like the distances, the creep spread, but the way the bases are laid out more so than anything else. It's a lot harder for a Terran player to secure a third, but it's also a lot easier for Donna to bounce between these bases if he's got the creep spread for it. Roach Hydra is also going to have this nice positional advantage, where sometimes you'll see Terran players put tanks up on the high ground, and we've talked about this in the past, but it doesn't seem to happen that often. And what's nice about Roach Hydra is it's not as, what's the phrase here, expendable the same way Banelings are. When you go Baneling Ling Muta, oftentimes you walk away with very little army remaining, even if you won the fight, because, well, that's how Banelings function. Whereas Roach Hydra, you actually retain units, so you can snowball off of that pretty quickly.
And with a much shorter map than what we saw on Way Station, you actually can retreat, or you can wait until the reinforcements catch up.
Yeah.
You're not trying to run back home with speedless Hydras and just getting wrecked. MMA will need to identify that this is what Donna's doing. Now, as we said, roaches are always somehow on this map, whether it's just the initial roaches or if they actually do go into Roach Hydra, they're always on this map. And MMA's got to recognize it is Roach Hydra. So, as we said before, focusing on the medevac count, potentially getting a lot of tanks in there, not building widow mines, because they can surprise attack and get a good shot off on the roaches, but they're not as effective.
Well, he pushes us back off the crate for the time being, so not a whole lot of pressure taken so far.
Nope.
Yo, what's kind of odd to see, MMA doesn't have any vision of the southern part of his base. It's rare that you would see an opportunity for Nidus for him to possibly be deadly, but this is one of those small situations. Not that Donna's recognized that or anything.
Oh, this Widowmine's gonna get a good shot.
This is actually a really good shot considering he moves into the stim bio. I don't know why he got all the melee range up for this, but pushes through the south at the same time. Donna's going to trade a lot of roaches for what is quite frankly Marines more than anything else.
Yeah, that's it.
Anticlimactic, but MMA did a little too much early. It really, you saw how much that can echo through towards the end of the game, with this being the example. So, sad for Donna, but happy for MMA. 2-0 is going to be the score, and that'll send him sailing to the finals, where, again, he's potentially coming up against Hyun. I believe Hyun versus